Good evening and welcome to Legends Field at Pendleton High School for another edition of high school softball on 9-Star TV as the 4-0 Pendleton Heights Arabians set to battle the Roncalli Royals in what will be their first game of the season. Along with Jim Leisure, I'm John Herrick. Thank you so much for joining us on what is been a mixed bag weather day. We've had sunshine, we've had rain, we've had a little bit of everything, but we are ready to get this matchup underway. Jim, let's begin with the Pendleton Heights Arabians off to a fantastic start. Big reason why the woman you will see in the circle, Eliza Finley, with an ERA under 3.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about Coach Davis is that they don't duck anybody. Their schedule's pretty strong. Obviously, taking on the defending state champions here to start the season 4-0 is again a feather in their cap, and we'll see whether or not Pendleton can play at this level.
So Finley is the starting pitcher, and then she will be facing a Roncalli lineup that is made up of Lila Blackwell, Carly Keller, and Kate Lehner to start it off. Those will be the batters you will see for sure in the top of the first. Again, Roncalli, as Jim mentioned, the state champions in Class 4A. They finished last season with a record of 31-2. I believe they tried to play Ritter earlier, but due to scheduling conflicts, some weather issues, that was not able to happen. Lila Blackwell gets it started for the Roncalli Royals. Last year hit .467. She is committed to play softball at Virginia Tech, and she plays center field. And then Keller and Lehner after her. Abby Hoffman bats cleanup. Kylie Freege is fifth. She'll be playing third base. Keegan Rothrock, the standout, incredible pitcher for Roncalli, is sixth. Courtney Keller is seventh. Lauren Marshasek is eighth, and Allie Waleski is ninth. That makes up the Roncalli order, and the first pitch from Eliza Finley is low and outside for ball one. It's Kaya Hubble in left field, Haley Brennemer in center field, Lillian Koffel in right field defensively for Pendleton. Bryn Libler on the hot corner at third. Chloe Gregory is at short. Bo Shelton is at second. That one is skied into shallow right and drops down for a base hit to start things off for Lila Blackwell. Caitlin Goodwin's over at first. Keely Ryan is the catcher, taking the pitches from Eliza Finley. So Roncalli starts off with a bloop single.
Second baseman, Carly.
Well, Blackwell got exactly what she wanted there. Obviously, you saw on the replay and live action that the way she kind of fakes the bunt, brings the infield in, and puts the bat back and just was able to bloop it over the drawn-in infield.
First varsity season for Carly Keller. All kinds of experience up and down this lineup as she takes strike one. Again, the sky, as I mentioned, showing that mixed bag of weather that we've been having all throughout the day. And right now, game time temperature, 46 degrees. That one sent over toward third, gets past Libler, and Gregory picks it up and has no play. Infield single for Keller, and in the blink of an eye, the Roncalli Royals have runners on first and second with nobody out.
And just playing a little small ball there, just kind of a half swing. You see on the replay, just basically hit it exactly where she couldn't have rolled it to a better spot. And like you said, they're off to a first and second, nobody out situation.
Kate Lehner, senior left fielder, batted .415 last year. She is committed to play at Butler. We're going to talk plenty about Keegan Rothrock. Throw over to second base by Ryan. Gets past Gregory, and that allows the runners to move up a base. It looked like it might just be a routine play to try to check the runner. Unfortunately, that's not how it turned out as it goes off the glove of the defenseman. So over Blackwell to third, Keller to second. Now you have two runners in scoring position as that goes down as an error.
Well, Blackwell kind of hesitated a little bit and really kind of hung Keller out to dry from first to second base. Eventually, she realized she had plenty of time to get there.
That one sent high in the air, but a nice play by Finley to get it for out number one.
Well, sometimes you got to help yourself, John.
Yep.
Again, another kind of excuse me swing you're going to see on the replay here.
Number 9, the right
Just kind of pops it up. Finley does a nice job of coming in and sliding to her knees and making the out. Outs are big, obviously, with runners at second and third and no outs. So,
and Roncalli was known for starting games this way.
Yeah.
A lot last year. You win 31 games in 33 tries. You know how to jump out on opponents early, and Hoffman hits that down the line. Kaya Hubble cannot get to it. That brings in 2 runs. Double for Abby Hoffman. So Hubble did all she could to get there, but Abby Hoffman just hits that on a frozen rope down the line to score 2 runs.
Yeah, you can't fault the left fielder there, Hubble. I mean, this was just, again, a well-placed ball, hit hard. got all the way to the screen. I like the base running on third base, too. Go ahead and tag up. If she does make that unbelievably diving catch, you then have plenty of time to score. The runner on second, though, was playing it a little more than halfway, which, again, is the smart way to play it. And that way, if she does drop it, it can't get to it, you're going to get 2 runs.
Kylie Freege is up. First pitch swinging, gets past Finley to second. Shelton on to first to get her. So that is a 4-3 retirement of Freege, but it moves Hoffman over to third with 2 outs, and Roncalli leading 2-0. There's another look at that Hoffman blast down the left field line. And this is Keegan Rothrock. So, of course, incredible pitcher going to the University of Florida. She committed to them in middle school. She's a junior, but one thing gets lost is how good of a batter she is. And unfortunately for her, she gets jammed and flies out to Caitlin Goodwin. But Roncalli gets 2 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, and they did leave 1 runner on base. However, they do take a 2-0 lead over Pendleton. One last look at that play here from Rothrock, and a good job by Goodwin to get underneath it. Let's meet the Pendleton Heights batting order. Kaya Hubble leads things off, sophomore left fielder who's hitting .444 so far. Then Haley Brunnemer, senior center fielder, bats second. Keely Ryan is third. She's playing catcher. And Caroline DeRolf is batting cleanup. She is the designated player. Bo Shelton is fifth, second baseman. She's a junior. Chloe Gregory bats sixth, senior shortstop. Caitlin Goodwin bats seventh. She's a sophomore first baseman. Eighth is Bryn Libler, senior third baseman. And Lillian Koffel bats ninth. She is a right fielder who is hitting .667 so far in the season. Eliza Finley is the junior player who is flexing. She's in the flex spot of the lineup. And there is Keegan Rothrock, who is coming off a sensational season last year where she led Roncalli to a state championship. And, Jim, the numbers for her, here's how staggering they are. 364 strikeouts to just 6 walks. And I remember in the state championship game when they had Roncalli's opponent had a runner on base with nobody out, and she went strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to seal the championship. Thought it was very fitting for the way for Roncalli in that season to get the state championship.
Yeah, John, the only time I saw Roncalli last year was in a game where they actually struggled defensively because, and I told you, I remember talking about it on the air, when you strike out as many people as she does, it's so rare that the ball is in play that sometimes your fielders can kind of be back on their heels a little bit, maybe caught napping, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see if Pendleton can put the ball in play, whether or not the Royal defense will be a little bit better today than it was that particular day when they ended up taking a loss.
And again, pretty incredible when you and I saw them play against New Pal, they had 4 errors defensively, but then Roncalli came back to beat New Pal later in the season. And we mentioned Rothrock and what she can do from a pitching standpoint. The other thing that's incredible about her is the fact that she also led the team in doubles last season. So she can hit the heck out of the ball as well. And her record was 24-2, and her ERA was .13. Kaya Hubble starts things off, and she looks at a called strike.
Really nasty pitch there, just kind of thrown on the outside corner, but again had some tailing movement on it, and that makes her just that much more difficult to hit.
Coaches in this game, Rob Davis for Pendleton Heights, David Lauk for Roncalli. Both these guys good friends. They've known each other for a long time. Strike 2 to Hubble.
A lot of people ask, how could this game be put together this quickly? I actually just assumed that they were probably friends. They both knew they had a couple openings. So, hey, I'm going to call Dave. Hey, Dave, can you guys get up here because we've had a couple rainouts. I know you've had some rainouts. Get the ADs involved, and boom, 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 we got a game.
And Mother Nature cooperates. That has not always been the case this year for a lot of teams. There's supposed to be a tournament this weekend at Pendleton. That is somewhat in doubt as we've seen Keegan Rothrock do that a lot. Starts off the game with a strikeout of Hubble and brings up Haley Brunnemer next. Now, Brunnemer's hitting .545 this year.
Just way behind the pitch. I mean, you're going to, as a hitter, you're just going to have to commit. I know she probably has a fantastic changeup too, which can make you look foolish, but at some point you've got to give up a little bit. You're going to have to sacrifice something.
And Brunnemer blasts this one into left, but right there over it, Kate Lehner. And while we have a moment, let's get you the Roncalli defense. Kate Lehner is in left, Lila Blackwell in center, Abby Hoffman in right. Kylie Freege is at third base. Lauren Marshasek is at short. Carly Keller at second. Courtney Keller at first. Keegan Rothrock throwing the pitches to the catcher, Allie Waleski. Nice catch there from Lehner. One more look at it. 2 down. And Keely Ryan up to bat. .333 is her average so far through these first 4 games. That one goes outside for a ball, 1-0. She has 3 hits on this season, 3 runs batted in, does have a double. Brunnemer, who just flew out, is tied for the team lead in hits. Strike 1 to her, evening the count.
She just does a great job of just hitting spots, John, that they're strikes. I mean, they're just nicking the corner of the plate, and they're just really difficult to hit. Even if you do hit them, you're probably not going to hit them hard.
The 1-1. Inside there for a strike, 1-2.
Just all over, hits every part of the zone. The lower part, the inside, the outside. Does a great job of keeping hitters off balance.
Wind blowing out to center about 10 miles an hour. That one hops its way to home plate to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
When you see a pitch like that, you almost wonder whether she wasn't just kind of a waste pitch trying to get the batter to swing at something and help her out a little bit.
That one in play to center. Blackwell going back, and that's out of here. Don't see that very happen to Keegan Rothrock. A solo home run to Keely Ryan. She just knocks that one out of the park.
Well, I'll tell you, John, last year, and I mentioned it on the air 2 or 3 times, we had Pendleton softball games for some reason, and the wind's blown pretty much straight out to center field, a little bit to right center, but this place is a launching pad for some reason, and there's just a lot of home runs. You see that pitch, again, probably way too much of the plate. Rothrock would tell you that she was probably trying to hit a corner as opposed to leaving it out over the center. And a great camera angle by our crew, as always, and just absolutely destroyed that pitch. And the center fielder went back on it, but I didn't think there was any need. I could tell from the sound of the bat, wind blowing straight out, that that one was probably not coming back.
That is the 4th home run that the Pendleton Heights Arabians have hit as a team this year, the first by Ryan. That brings up Caroline DeRolf, the designated player. She falls behind 0-1.
Years ago, John, in high school baseball, I played center field, and I kind of prided myself in knowing that when they were gone, I wouldn't move, and then, of course, I had something I could tease the pitcher about later.
And now that wind that I mentioned blowing out to center field definitely has picked up, and it's 0-2. I think Rothrock's pretty angry now. She might just come and try to get a rage strikeout here, just try to end this inning.
Well, even at this level, I mean, location is so important. When you leave them over the middle of the plate, good hitters can make you pay. That's why, again, they're mistakes. Pitchers sometimes, I guarantee you if you asked her, she'd say, I wasn't trying to throw it there. I was trying to hit a corner. I just missed my spot.
DeRolf calls for time. Umpire grants it to her. 2-1 lead for Roncalli. And the 0-2. Tried to get her to chase it. She did not. 1-2.
And yet another pitch there in her arsenal, that kind of inside-out little movement thing, kind of a backdoor slider, so to speak.
1-2 offering. Got the outside corner that time. So 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. But Pendleton cuts into the lead. Roncalli 2, Pendleton 1. Second inning comes your way next on 9 Star TV.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9 Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Taking a look at the head coach of Pendleton Heights, Rob Davis, in his 8th season coaching the Arabians. Jim, you and I have had plenty of time to talk to Davis over the last few years. He is always a pleasure to talk to because he's like, I will play anyone, anywhere, anytime. He knew that coming into this weekend, this tournament that he's playing in, his team's supposed to play in this weekend, has a very good chance of getting rained out, and He knows David Lauk very well. He's like, let's get this game in. Let's find a way to get it in on this Thursday night.
Yeah, we talked about he doesn't duck anybody. He understands that iron sharpens iron. And you know, again, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And his kids have to see competition. You got to be able to see how the best in 4A play, the speed at which they play, the discipline with which they play with, all those things. So, you know, he's smart enough to know. Some coaches don't. Some coaches would kind of rather soften the schedule a little bit, win a bunch of ball games, and then get mauled in the sectional. Davis understands not to do that.
Batters 7, 8, 9 due up in the Roncalli order in the top of the second. This is Courtney Keller, who dribbles that over to third. Libler, routine play to first.
Nice job by Bryn Libler, the senior. Just great position, you know, knew the speed of the runner and was able to just pick it up, set her feet, and make a nice, easy throw.
Lauren Marcicek is next. Junior shortstop, hitting .235 on the season last year. That's what she hit last year. Her sister actually plays at Indiana State. So Marcicek comes from a pretty athletic family. Takes high for ball 1.
If you notice from that, the other camera angle that we had from the side, a lot of these Roncalli hitters are all the way to the front of the box. Right there, great shot of it. Thanks, John. And, you know, again, if you're a pitcher and a catcher, you want to probably try to pepper some fastballs in there. And just don't give them as long a look at things. And then if you're a good catcher and you realize that somebody's moved back, that's when you want to change it up a little bit, those kinds of games within the game.
Count is 1-0 to Marcicek, and after her it's Allie Waleski, who is the senior catcher. Then we go back to the top of the order to Lila Blackwell. The 1-0. And that is just foul. Yes, it was close, but it went down the line, and umpire put his hands up, signaling foul.
Yeah, again, and we talk about this every now and then when that situation arises, it is not where the fielder's feet are. It's where the ball is when it is first touched. And the fielder's feet may have been inside the white line, but the ball was clearly outside when it was first touched. So it's foul ball.
1-1. Put in play. Diving attempt made and caught by Chloe Gregory for the second out.
Well, just a fantastic play, John. Again, Chloe Gregory was perfectly positioned and just was able to get over just enough. Great replay here. Kind of does the full extension dive. Nice play.
And, of course, if you are Pendleton, you're thinking, man, we finally got a break there, because there were a couple of plays, you know, back in that first inning where it looked like they could not. The ball was just in the wrong place for him. And right there, Gregory was in the right place at the right time. Waleski stands in and takes inside for ball 1. She hit .347 last year, and again, she is somebody that plays a large role in Keegan Rothrock's success with how much she does behind the plate. One of 3 players, actually, in the history of the state to hit 2 home runs in a state championship game like she did last year, and she skies this one out of play.
Well, just like, you always hear that, behind every good, successful man is a woman or vice versa. Behind every good pitcher is normally a pretty good catcher, and Waleski does a fantastic job. I mean, and honestly, Rothrock has so many pitches, you got to manage that entire repertoire.
The 1-1, check swing. Did she go around? Appeal to first. He says no. So the count is 2-1, or 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Waleski trying to keep the inning alive for Roncalli.
Speaking of good pitches, that was a change up there. The catcher obviously thought that it was a good time to call it.
The 2-1, chops it foul.
And that catcher for Pendleton, of course, is the senior Keely Ryan. So, again, it's always nice to have that kind of experience and that type of knowledge of the game behind the plate there.
Got deuces wild on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. First game of the season for Roncalli. Second home game of the season for Pendleton Heights. Tad High runs the count full. As Eliza Finley got off to a bit of a rocky start in the first inning. Gave up 2 runs, RBI double to Abby Hoffman. Then got a ground out and a pop out to end it. Trying to get this inning over with. Waleski, though, powers that into left center, and that ball is gone. Waleski with a solo shot, and that puts Roncalli's lead back at 2. 3-1 Royals.
Well, she absolutely, again, got all of that thing and took it into the left center power gap. And, again, to me, another no-doubter. I thought it was going to bang off the scoreboard. I think it actually went between the gap. But you're going to see a great arc of the flight here from our outfield camera as the ball gets just between the yellow tubing and just in front of the scoreboard. But, as a coach, you always talk about getting some production, any kind of production out of the lower part of your lineup. And by that, you want the 7, 8, and 9 guys or gals to get on. I don't care, walks, slap base hits. But, hey, if you can hit the ball 300 feet, do that too. That's a good way.
Still 2 outs, back to the top of the order. It was Blackwell who got everything going with a single in the first. Check swing. Finley to first base. Blackwell with all that speed, able to beat the throw.
Yeah, John, if you do that right, I mean, honestly, that should just be illegal. You can't stop that. I mean, again, you got the second baseman. And one of the things that Pendleton could have done was maybe have the first baseman stay home. Don't charge the first baseman. The ball was clearly bunted right back to the pitcher, but I don't think it would have mattered. Just if you put it in the right spot and if you're fast enough with 60-foot base paths, really, really difficult to defend.
That pitch skied out of play by Carly Keller for a strike. 0-1.
Yeah, I've always said this, and I catch a lot of grief, especially from baseball folks but I think it's harder to play infield in softball than it is in baseball. The base pass being at 60 feet, it's just you have no time to make any mistake. The slightest little mistake, forget it. In baseball, you can bob it a little bit. You can be out of position a little bit.
That one slapped over to short. No play again.
And that's an example of it right there. I mean, just because she had the shortstop, Gregory, had to go to her right and backhand that in that hole with a 60-foot base path, there's no way. I mean, unless you have a slow runner, and obviously Keller's not a slow runner.
Now you have Kate Lehner up. This is looking an awful lot like the first inning where Blackwell and Keller got on base, then Lehner came up. Now Lehner did pop up to Finley in her first at-bat.
And really the same types of at-bats for both Blackwell and Keller. Neither one of them really hit the ball, far or hard, just in the right spot.
That one sent high into left. Hubble underneath it for the third out. So Roncalli able to get one more. They have had 3 runs in each of the
After an inning and a half.
2 innings so far. This time, though, they strand 2 runners on base, but they do get a solo home run from Allie Waleski to make it 3-1. Roncalli. And now Pendleton with some more work to do. They did get a solo home run from Keely Ryan in the bottom of the first. Now they got to try to cut into this deficit again. Take a look at the Roncalli Royals. Keegan Rothrock and company about to go back out there. Bo Shelton will start it off. Batters 5, 6, and 7 in the Pendleton order. Shelton, Chloe Gregory, Caitlin Goodwin. That's who is due up for Rob Davis's squad.
And Bo Shelton's batting .364 on the year, 4 games, 2 home runs of her own. So she's going to try to time something up here. And, again, with the wind blowing straight out, again, the flag looks like a 4x8 piece of plywood out there in center field. Just absolutely straight out to the, again, slight right center. But to me, that's straight out. And if you get a hold of it and get it up a little bit, it'll go.
Again, it's like right after I said that, about how the wind was picking up a little bit to center field. It really started to pick up, and then the solo home run for Ryan happened. Then Roncalli tacks on with a run of their own. We mentioned Roncalli was 31-2 last season with a state championship. Pendleton also had a solid year, 19-10. Trying to build on that this year.
Well, again, as everyone knows, Pendleton plays in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, and Mount Vernon ended up winning the conference last year and also went into the semi-state against Roncalli and lost a 1-0 extra inning ball game. So Hoosier Heritage Conference softball, including New Pal as well, can play.
First pitch is a ball to Bo Shelton. Shelton also has a double, too. Big cut that time and a miss.
Just a little bit behind. You got to, again, as a hitter, you have to realize who you're facing from day to day. And maybe, again, you got to give in a little bit. Choke up just a shade so that you can be quick to the ball.
Too far inside to make it 2-1. The lead is 3-1 for Roncalli here in the bottom of the second.
Obviously, if you're down on the knob of the bat, you're going to get more power if you do make contact, but you're less likely to make contact.
Big rip and a miss, 2-2.
More importantly, the pop of the glove. That ball was just absolutely smoked. So you got to give in a little bit. You got to just kind of shorten it up and be a little bit quicker. And you know what? When you do that, the velocity of the pitch and the wind will do the same as being down on the knob.
Strike 3.
Well, she didn't get robbed of any cuts. I mean, she had 3 good rips at it, and that's what you want.
Already 3 strikeouts for Keegan Rothrock.
Number 5, Chloe.
Chloe Gregory comes up next. She's batting .200 on the season. Gregory also with 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. She has a home run.
And I noticed that she has already kind of choked up just a little bit. Don't know if she normally does it. Haven't seen her bat this year, but it's a good tact against a fast pitcher. And although she swung and missed at that, John, she had it timed up a little bit better than Shelton did in the previous at bat.
That one drops for Gregory and scooped up by Lehner. So it's like she got jammed there, but she was still able to get enough of it into left center to give Pendleton their second hit of the game and get Gregory on base.
So, again, you could probably say that somewhat of, again, having the shorter, quicker bat was able to do that. Again, it was not hit hard, but because of the velocity of the pitch, it was hit hard enough. We'll see if Coach Davis decides to put people in motion. So far, he's not made any signs at all toward the runner on first.
That one sent down the line. That's foul from Caitlin Goodwin.
Did you remember the name of what it's called?
Well, Goodwin, again, just a little bit behind that thing.
Do you think if you're a left-handed hitter, it's harder to hit against Rothrock, or?
I guess the same thing would apply. I think it's easier. You have a better eyesight toward the ball. The ball's coming in toward you as opposed to breaking away from you. So I would say this is an advantage for the left-handed hitter.
She pulls it. Bobbled by a second for Keller, but she's able to flip and get the ball to first base to retire Goodwin. Gregory on to second. So the Keller sisters come up there and combine for the out.
Number 3, Bryn Libler.
Bryn Libler tries to keep the inning alive now for Pendleton. Still a 3-1 lead for Roncalli.
That ball was hit well, John. I mean, honestly, it was unfortunately for Goodwin. It was hit right at the second baseman, but that ball was hit well.
That one foul tipped into the glove of Libler. 0-1.
I'll tell you, this bottom part of the lineup for the Arabians, they're not missing by much. Libler had a nice cut at that, too, and like you said, got just a piece of it.
Libler clearly has a student section following, and they just look like Gregory thought about taking off to third, went back. 0-2 the count to Libler. Skied high. Might be playable for Blackwell. She waves everybody off and makes the catch. And that takes care of the second inning. And it is Roncalli leading by 2, 3-1 as we go to the third on 9-Star TV.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building from Aaron Joya. Waits, Waddell finishes. And lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. Good. We might see that on plays of the week. Great feed. The finish. Spin, win, 3. Bury it in the lane. No, gun, yes. Stop. Whoa, what a play. Flying in.
We go to the top of the third inning. Bit of a chilly day on this 7th day of April, 46 degrees. Pretty good crowd from Roncalli, who made the trip over to Pendleton. About a 40-minute drive for them. Only the second home game of the year for the Pendleton Heights Arabians. They are coming off a rout of Delta, who they beat last night 15-1, and prior to that an 8-0 blanking of Shenandoah. Probably one of Pendleton Heights' best games so far. A win on April Fool's Day over Center Grove. They beat them 8-6 in 8 innings. Started off the season with a win over Westfield as Eliza Finley starts out with a ball high to Abby Hoffman. Hoffman with that RBI double back in the first inning on her first at bat of the season for the junior right fielder. The 1-0 sent down the line and foul.
You know, you talked about, John, how the Roncalli faithful travel up here and they travel well. As an athletic director, maybe not as a coach or a fan, those are things you consider when you schedule teams. I mean, you want to bring teams in that are going to give you a little bit of a gate. You have 3 umpires you're trying to pay right here, as opposed, I mean, in addition to the other workers, you know, not clock operator, but scoreboard operator and things.
And that one bobbled by Limbler. Won't have a play. I think that's going to probably go down.
It's got to be an E5.
It's got to be, yeah.
I mean, I think that even Limbler would tell you that. She'd say, yeah, that's one I got to get. It hits her right in the breadbasket here. Just kind of takes a little bit of a hop, but that's why you got to have your hands, your glove and your hand out in front of your body. So when that ball takes that last hop, you have that little bit of cushion. If your hands are underneath you, it's what we call when they say, you know, the ball just, ate her up and just kind of got into her, and she wasn't able to do anything with it.
Kylie Freege is up next. She popped up to the first baseman Goodwin back in the first inning, and that ended the inning. Roncalli leading 3-1. She chops it. There's Limbler with the play to second. Fielder's choice retires Hoffman.
Well, nice job there by Limbler, making up for the last one there. And
The pitcher, number 7, Keegan Rothrock.
And Keegan Rothrock would like to have a much better at bat. She swung at the first pitch and then was retired quickly. But she led this team in doubles last season with 11 of them, takes a called strike, and hit .442. It's pretty nice when you can place her at the bottom of the order and she can still hit over 400, because that shows you how strong the top of the order is for Roncalli. That one driven into right. Won't be good enough for a double. It'll be a single. But that moves Freege to second. Rothrock on first.
Just a little inside-out swing there. John taking the pitch where it is and just going the other way with it. Nice job by Coughlin in right field, scooping it up. Of course, we have a courtesy runner here.
Courtesy runner coming on for Roncalli to allow Rothrock to come out from first. Roncalli putting on Georgia Reed, a junior.
Running for Rothrock at first, number 18.
And, I mean, if she's not going to swing the bat hard, if she's going to try those little slap-type hits, then we're going to play defense a little bit differently as well.
So Pendleton Heights has the 9-1 two batters due up in the bottom of the third inning. Of course, that sky that you're looking at here for Legends Field, again, it's like if you're looking out straight to center, sky looks great. When you're looking at it coming in, looks a lot different.
Yeah,
and that's just been how it's been so far in the months
Yeah.
of March and April. Probably two of the most unpredictable months in Indiana weather every year.
Absolutely every year, and I do mean this. I wasn't kidding. I tell the story a lot. Years ago, I was coaching a high school baseball game, and I swear I went through all 4 seasons in 7 innings. I mean, it started out, it was, kind of a nice spring day, a little bit of sunshine, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, some clouds roll in. It starts to kind of sleet, that winter weather, and then eventually the skies kind of blew on out past the field, and it kind of felt like a nice, cool fall day. Then the sun came out, and it got up to like 70 degrees. So, I mean, we went from all 4 seasons in less than an hour and a half. So, Indiana.
Yep. And, a very wise man who I know that works at the National Weather Service. His name is Mike Ryan, and he's a meteorologist there. And he said, winter never gives way easily to spring. And I can't think of a better way to word that because –
See, that's so much more intelligent than – I got a friend, Bob McLean. He used to be on Channel 6 in Central Indiana. And Bob said, best way to tell the weather is open a window and stick your head out.
Yeah.
That's how you tell the weather in Indiana.
It'll change probably 5 minutes after you do that.
Yep.
Lillian Cottle comes up for Pendleton Heights. Lillian Koffel, junior right fielder. She so far has had a solid year for Pendleton, hitting .667. Count is at 1-1 against her. So far, 5 runs scored, 4 hits in 6 at-bats. So she doesn't quite have as many at-bats as some of the other folks on the team, but when she has gotten her opportunities, she has certainly taken advantage.
She's certainly doing a nice job here by getting a couple balls by Rothrock outside here, giving her a lot of respect.
The 2-1, slapped foul to even the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now it'll be interesting to see if Rothrock just decides, you know what, I'm just going to come right at you. I'm going to give you the old fastball, do your best. And again, looking at the where she's lined up in the batter's box, if she got any further deep, she'd be umpiring.
Yeah, Caroline draws our flex, so she bats for.
The 2-2.
Rothrock showing a lot of respect, really staying away from Koffel.
Eliza doesn't bat.
You would think, I mean, the 9-hole, and I know John, she probably knows she's batting 67 too, but she's still batting 9th, and I don't remember Babe Ruth ever batting 9th, so just throw fastballs.
And she slaps it, makes good contact, but it's foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count remains. So good at bat here for Koffel. I mean, you just got to try to find a way to hold her off.
And pitch count's not quite as important in softball as it is in baseball, but it is still a thing, and this will be the 7th pitch in the at-bat.
The 3-2. Almost hitting the exact same spot as the previous pitch.
And one of the things I noticed on that particular pitch that I hadn't noticed before was I was watching the grip that Koffel has. It's actually a split grip. There's a little bit of space between her left hand, the top hand, and the bottom right hand. She's really kind of using the bat almost as like a paddle.
Puts it in play. Rothrock with a quick throw. Got her just in the nick of time. So Koffel puts together a solid at bat. Makes life a little difficult for Rothrock, but in the end, Rothrock gets it done.
Hubble.
And we're back to the top of the order with Kaya Hubble. And Hubble, in a similar way, had a pretty good at-bat to start the game off for Pendleton back in the first, but she ended up striking out. So far, the strikeout count for Rothrock, 3 of them this evening. And what is her first game for Roncalli this season?
Between the innings, John, I noticed Rothrock went down into the bullpen with a catcher, and she was just working from a short distance, maybe about 8 or 10 feet, and was just working on a release. It was kind of a spin release that she was working on. I don't know what pitch it was, too far to tell from here, but she was working on something, and so that's, again, what good players do, always trying to get better. Yeah, you could have sat in the dugout and spit seeds, or you can go down there and get better, and she decided to go down there and get better. So, and this might be what you're seeing, is that she's working on this pitch.
Flap foul again by Hubble. 1-2 the count. Yeah, so Roncalli's journey through the postseason last year started off with a win over Southport. Then New Pal got their revenge on them, beat Franklin Central, took down Avon. And those were all shutouts except the one against Southport. Then blanked Columbus North 4-0. Mount Vernon 1-0. And then took down Lake Central in the championship game 4-1.
And of course, Lake Central is one of the clubs that is due to be here in Pendleton Saturday for the Horseshoe Classic.
The 2-2 to Hubble. Able to stay away from it, and it's ball 3. So even though you haven't gotten a hit or made some runs yet, you're running Rothrock's pitch count up here a little bit. The 3-2 draws contact but fouls it away.
So at least this will be the 7th pitch of this at-bat, 8 for the previous hitter. So 15 pitches. And again, pitch count's not quite as vital as it is in baseball, where, after a certain point, the young man has to come out of the ball game, or he's not allowed to pitch so many because he pitched so many 2 days ago, on and on and on. But still, making the kid work. I like it.
The 3-2 again to Hubble. Goes down swinging. Again, that's the toughest part about playing against Rothrock. She has been through every single type of at-bat imaginable.
Yeah, and she's good at changing speeds, and she could just make you look so foolish. That was a really good at-bat, but again, that pitch there, she just kind of fooled her a little bit. Did a nice job taking some speed out of it.
Haley Brunnemer is up. She's hitting .545 so far. Flew out to left, made good contact on it back in the first inning. Just did not quite get enough under it. Quite honestly, if she would have hit it into center field, it might have been out of here. It's been the way it's been so far today. Solo home run for Pendleton from Keely Ryan, and then home runs for Roncalli's Allie Waleski and Courtney Keller tonight. So we've had 3 home runs in this game so far. The 1-0 to Brunnemer. Strike 1. Lots of games going on at Pendleton tonight. We got some baseball games. Obviously, this softball game. Some JV action. Busy night for the Arabians. And that's a bouncer up the middle that keeps the inning alive as Brunnemer comes up big with a hit, which amounts to be her 7th hit of the season. She leads the team in that category.
Number 13.
Well, just again, another nice job of hitting there. You see it on the replay. Stay with the pitch. It's on the outer half of the plate. Don't try to pull it. If you pull an outside pitch, you generally ground out weakly to the shortstop. Hit it hard where it is, and just hopefully you'll find a hole.
It's very difficult, and we don't know if we'll get this Horseshoe Classic in, Jim, on Saturday, but I really hope we can because the field looks really impressive.
Yeah, this is a fantastic facility, both for softball and baseball. Great places to broadcast from, frankly. Great press boxes. So we always like coming to Pendleton.
Starts off with the first game at 10. The championship game due to start at 6. Of course, all of that will change depending on how long the games are and the weather. Count is 1-0 here to Ryan. She was the one who hit the solo home run, has accounted for the only run for Pendleton so far. And Ryan has 4 hits and 4 runs driven in. That one gets a little way from Waleski. Throw to second. That allows Brunnemer to go to second, and it puts her in scoring position.
Well, great job of running the bases here. Haley Brunnemer is going to see the pitch down in the dirt. So she's going to see it get away just enough, and then she makes the decision. You're either going to go or you're going to stay. But if you're going to go, go. And if you're going to stay, stay. She decided to go and was able to get in.
And a rare time that you see this, a 3-0 count from Rothrock.
Hats off to these Arabian hitters making her work.
And that is a rarity. She only had 6 walks all season last year, and Rothrock with the first one that she has dealt this season.
Caroline.
Waleski goes out to have a chat with her in the circle. And Caroline DeRolf is up to bat. Looks like a courtesy runner is coming on for Ryan. And for Pendleton Heights, Kylie Fisher is running at first base now.
24, Kylie Fisher.
Well, the first walk of the ballgame for either pitcher, John, and, that at least means that the pitchers are throwing strikes. I mean, I know, again, you look at the score, it's 6-1, and Roncalli has a couple of bombs, but one of them was a 3-run shot. So really a fairly well-pitched game. Roncalli so far just taking a little bit more advantage of the opportunities when they have risen.
Like some patchy drizzle starting to pick up again. We look like we had some pretty good sunshine earlier. I don't know if we're going to get all 4 seasons in, Jim, like the one you had talked about earlier, but we're probably going to get at least 2 of them in.
We'll get 2 or 3 of them, won't we?
Strike 1 to Caroline DeRolf. She came in hitting .500 on the season. She does have 6 hits, so she's second on the team in hits behind Brunnemer. And she has 2 doubles, and if she can hit a double here, that would really help Pendleton cut into the lead. Bounces it off the glove of Rothrock. Rothrock picks it up and does not have a play. So infield hit for DeRolf. That was not a routine play at all by any stretch of the imagination. Rothrock did all she could just to get her glove on this.
Number 9.
Well, and she really didn't know her runners here. You got a fairly good runner going from first to second, but probably one of the slower runners on the Pendleton. Should have, if you're going to pick it up, immediately you're going to first. You're going right now. Don't even look to second base. That extra half second or second that you hesitated is why the bases are loaded.
So there's 4 hits in the game now for Pendleton. Bases juiced for Bo Shelton, who struck out to begin the second. Shelton does have 4 runs driven in. She does have 4 hits. She has doubled and 2 home runs for her on the year. You get a home run here, you can really change the complexion of this game. And it's 2-0.
2-0 is a great pitch to hit. You're looking for your favorite pitch. Rothrock has to come to her a little bit, has to give in a little bit. Not totally, but she has to give in a little bit because you certainly don't want to walk in a run. Anything into the outfield is going to score 2, though, with 2 outs, runners moving on contact.
And she dribbles it over to Marchesek to first base, and the routine play is made. Roncalli gets out of the jam. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Pendleton Heights leaves 3 runners aboard, and we go to the 4th inning with the score. Roncalli 6, Pendleton Heights 1 on 9-Star TV.
Pendleton Heights.
At 9-Star Connect, our history spans back to the late 1800s, where family time, building livelihoods and neighborhoods, sharing stories of the day, and looking forward to chasing new dreams were important to all of us. Today, 9-Star still values these things. That's why we have a local 24/7, 365 support center. We are still here for you, as it's been for the past 125 years. At 9-Star Connect, we're a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
So Pendleton Heights is keeping Eliza Finley out there still pitching. Boy, Pendleton Heights had a golden opportunity there in the bottom of the 3rd. They got bases loaded against the state and national player of the year and just could not get the runners across. Rothrock does the job and gets Bo Shelton to ground into a 6-3 put out to end the 3rd. Roncalli goes into the top of the 4th. And again, Jim, if they can get a few more runs here, they can force this game to end early via the run rule. But that's definitely not something that Pendleton Heights wants to see happen. Carly Keller gets it started here. Now, Carly is a freshman. This is her first varsity start. And in this first game for her, 2 for 2, 2 singles, runs scored. And, this just says a lot about the confidence that David Lauk has to have in her if you are starting a freshman in the 2nd spot of the batting order. Batters 2, 3, and 4 due up for Roncalli here in the top of inning number 4.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of coaches' meetings, John, when you talk personnel. And one of the things that you sometimes ask is, do we really want to start a freshman? And more importantly, do we really want to batter in the 2-hole? But ultimately, it gets down to, well, who's better? Who do we have that's better? And when the answer comes back, well, really nobody, then you go ahead and do it and just let the kid learn and let the kid get better.
Count is 1-1 to her. Slapper over to second. Shelton took it on a bit of an awkward hop there, but able to get Keller. One down.
I bet if we see the replay there, we're going to see, though, that her hands and her glove are in advance of her body. Her hands are in front, so when the ball takes that nasty hop, she has more room. She can come back. If you have your hands, again, underneath you, you have nowhere to go.
He's Jim Leisure. I'm John Herrick with you on 9-Star TV. Big thanks for being with us. Kate Lehner slaps that one fouled. Lehner 0 for 2 tonight. A pop out and a fly out.
Well, the wind is just absolutely roaring now.
It's just, and the tricky part about it is it's been ebbing and flowing. There's moments in the game where the wind's not doing anything, and then it's just picking up out of nowhere. And that ball caught in foul ground. Nice play by Kaya Hubble. Hubble was running out of room and able to get over there and make a nice catch in foul territory. Second time that she has retired Lehner.
Abby Hoffman.
And Abby Hoffman comes up. She is 1 for 2 with a double. Reached on an error in her last at bat.
And just to clarify, this is not the same Abby Hoffman who was the 1960s social activist, one of the Chicago Seven.
I really did not think you were going to drop that reference, but
it's the first thing I thought of when I said Abby Hoffman. I mean, his eligibility should have run out years ago.
Oh my God!
And then I realized it was a different Abby Hoffman. So.
Yeah, that wind is now blowing out to right center.
Yeah.
And really starting to gust, picking up to about 25 miles an hour. The 1-0 pitch is upstairs to make it 2-0. And as you can tell by our cameras, in comes the rain again.
A little bit of precipitation on the actual lens, but you can great shot of the crowd there bundling up in their parkas and umbrellas.
2-0. Got it in there for a strike, did Finley. So far for Finley tonight, she has given up 6 runs, all of which have been earned. Dribbler over to Libler, and Libler able to retire Hoffman. So that was an inning that Pendleton Heights really needed defensively. The first time in this game that they have not allowed a Roncalli run or a hit. And as you can tell there, the rain really starting to pick up. So we didn't have a whole lot of it to start. But now it's really making life a little bit difficult. But you know, Coach Rob Davis will try to do everything he can to get this game in. And with that moment, we will go ahead and take a look at what is going on the radar. So what we have at the moment is a lot of scattered sort of rain showers moving in across central Indiana. And even once this little burst of rain moves through, there is a slight patch of rain behind it. So it's like we're going to have this move through, and then we'll get a little bit of a break, and then we'll get a little bit more of it. And that's just been the pattern all week long. Really, everybody in every part of Indiana has experienced rain at some point this week.
Well, a couple of things that both coaches can do is basically hurry them in and hurry them out. You know, I mean, let's don't take the normal time between innings. Let's be ready. If you know, tell your kids on the bench that if the pitcher or the catcher gets on, you point to somebody. You are going to run for the pitcher if she gets on. The second that happens, boom, we're out there. We're not looking for a helmet. We're not putting on sliding pads and different things. So you can speed it up a little bit, as it does appear as if Roncalli's kind of taking their sweet old time here.
The bottom half of the fourth for Pendleton Heights. It'll be Gregory. Good one.
I think for them, they want to probably get as many reps in.
You would think. I mean, they haven't played a game yet, so, I mean, and again, if you got to hurry it a little bit between innings just to get them in, I don't think that's a huge price to pay.
Chloe Gregory, Caitlin Goodwin, and Bryn Libler due up.
Gregory!
That is batters 6, 7, and 8 for Pendleton Heights. They're trying to stay unbeaten. They're 4-0, coming off of a 19-10 campaign last season. And Gregory singled back in the second. First pitch swinging. It's in foul territory, but playable for Courtney Keller, who makes the routine grab here in the bottom of the fourth. It is a 5-run lead for the Roncalli Royals as they try to
Number 7, the first baseman.
fish this one off. Coach David Lauk for Roncalli comes out and gives Keegan Rothrock a towel. Also a high five. He loved that pitch for Rothrock that got Gregory to pop it up.
Yeah, 1 pitch, 1 out's a big deal, especially after the inning that she had last inning when, honestly, it seemed like every hitter was running her to either a full count or, one, as you said, very, very rare 3-0 that ended up in a walk. So, the Pendleton hitters were showing great patience last inning, and so far, I know it's still early in this inning, but 1 pitch, 1 out.
She delivers that one low and away for ball 1 to Goodwin. Hitting .444 on the season. Does have 2 runs scored, 4 hits, 2 driven in, a double. Clamps the outside corner for a strike.
Well, with that pitch, that little inside-out pitch there where she starts it right on the outside corner and then it kind of breaks away. But maybe just clipping the front of the plate there, but that takes away the lefty-righty advantage because now the ball is breaking away from the left-handed hitter.
Check swing. Did she lay off? Yes. It's 2-1 the count.
Same pitch. She's just coming with it. And again, what the hitter has to do, Goodwin has to decide is whether or not it's in the zone or not because that one there broke out.
And that one just gets away. You don't see that many pitches like that from Rothrock, but that one just slips. Wonder how much rain might have to do with that. I mean, that was part of the reason I think Coach David Lauk brought her that towel, which she's now using to wipe off her hands.
That one was particularly nasty. That had a huge break on it. I mean, she may have just, again, give it too much spin or, like you said, it could have just simply slipped. But that was a nasty pitch. Would have hit a right-handed hitter.
Put in play. Marcicek with the clean throw. Got her. So Goodwin has had 2 ground outs against her tonight. Bryn Libler checks in, and she flew out to center back in the second. She's been hitting .231 this season. 3 hits, though, 3 runs batted in. Does have 2 doubles, so she is one of 3 Pendleton Heights Arabians with 2 doubles. Libler, DeRolf, and then Brunnemer is the other one. Rothrock delivers upstairs 1-0. One thing that we're noticing from Rothrock, at least in this game, Jim, she's been falling behind a little bit, 1-0 or 2-0, probably more than she normally does. I wonder if that's part of just maybe settling back into a routine.
It's possible. I mean, again, this is her first game of the season, but I would probably liken more of it to just she's trying different pitches. These are things that she's been working on all off season and all spring in the gym, and when you're pitching inside. Now she's out here and she's just trying different things, trying to see how much movement she can get on particular pitches.
1-1, misses. 2-1.
Now you talked about how she committed to Florida as a middle schooler. I think when you're in middle school, you just commit to Florida. You're just like, that just sounds really cool.
Yeah. Pretty hard to go any other direction there. That one skied into left. Kate Lehner is there. That is a 1-2-3 inning for Pendleton Heights. And we head to the 5th with Roncalli enjoying a 5-run lead on 9-Star TV.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9-Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
It is a 6-1 lead for the Roncalli Royals over the Pendleton Heights Arabians. Along with Jim Leisure, I'm John Herrick on 9-Star TV. Also, our friends at the ISC Sports Network. Great to have you with us. Kylie Freege Keegan Rothrock and Courtney Keller due up. That is batters 5, 6, and 7 in the Roncalli order. For Roncalli so far, they have 6 runs to go along with 9 hits. There have been 2 Pendleton Heights errors. Roncalli has left 4 runners on base. And if you're Pendleton Heights, you have 1 run, 4 hits, and they have left 4 runners on base as well. Pitch comes in for a strike to Kylie Freege, 0-1, as Eliza Finley continues to pitch for Pendleton Heights.
And we talked about it earlier, John. She hasn't pitched all that poorly. Again, you look, you say, 6 runs, but first inning there were just a couple slap base hits, and then there was the 3-run homer.
Should be a routine play for Shelton, and it is. Rothrock singled and ended up getting on base, and then after that her courtesy runner came around to score.
Number 7, the pitcher, Keegan Rothrock.
Rothrock settles in for at-bat number 3 on the evening. Low and outside for ball 1.
Finley kind of took a little something off that pitch. Just going to give Keegan a little something to look at. A little change speed. Let her know, you know what, I have this pitch and I will throw it, so you can't just sit on my fastball.
It's crazy to think that Roncalli is going to have her for another year after this. Some players, in their prospective sport feel like they've been at their school for a long time, and Rothrock has that feel to her.
Yeah, and then you get sometimes you get it, in all schools, you'll get a string of siblings who come through, and it's like, man, there's been a Rothrock down there for like 11 years. And I'm just using that name as an example, but, you get names within a school, and it just seems like they're there forever.
1-1, sails wide to make it 2-1. Back in the third, Freege, then Rothrock's courtesy runner, Georgia Reed, and Keller all scored, and that's what really helped extend the lead out to 6-1. Roncalli's held Pendleton Heights at bay ever since, but Rothrock falls behind on that swing, evening the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See, and this is where Rothrock has to be thinking, okay, I saw that changeup that she led the sequence off with. Is she going to go there again? Is she going to come with the heat?
The 2-2. And Libler, who has been busy at third base tonight, makes a nice play to retire Rothrock. That is the third different 5-3 putout of the evening for Bryn Libler.
And I think she did take a little bit off that pitch there. But like you said, Libler was in perfect position. I mean, nice throw. Not even close at first base. Good defensive play.
So Courtney Keller, who hit 4 home runs last season, hit a home run back in the third, and it might be the home run that, quite honestly, is the difference in the game. But she fouls that one off her foot. Ouch.
Which always hurts, but, when it's 40 degrees, it hurts a little bit more.
Yep. 40 degrees with some patchy drizzle, and you're feeling more like it's February instead of April. So then, the best thing to think about for next week, we have a lot of days in the 70s across Indiana. Keller sprays that one foul, 0-2. Roncalli down to their last strike here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, it's easy to look ahead, and you would like to see a game between 2 good programs like this played in 70-degree weather, because the weather does affect the quality of play a little bit.
Good block by Ryan behind home plate.
And another good change there by Finley. I like how she's, the key to hitting is balance. So if you're a pitcher, you want to keep the hitter off balance, and you do that by changing speeds.
Hit into center. This could be home run number 2, and it is for Keller. Her second home run of the evening as she blasts it away to center field. That entire dugout coming out to greet her. She says, yep, there we go. That's number 2 for me tonight. Solo shot.
Well, again, just belt high and probably not where Finley wanted it to be. But again, a good hitter then takes advantage of your mistake.
Shortstop,
to use a baseball reference years ago, Sammy Sosa for the Cubs, I always thought he was the best mistake hitter probably I'd ever seen. The catcher would set up low and outside, and then if you saw that catcher's mitt drift back toward the plate, you better get ready in the bleachers because he was going to hit it a mile.
It's a great way to describe him, just capitalizing off of any mistake there. Lauren Marcichek is up. She singled back in the third. Now, Keller hit .410 last season. She signed with Mount St. Joseph, which is a Division III program. And that's a bloop single into right for Marcichek. So Pendleton Heights had shored things up defensively. They had 5 straight outs, and then Keller gets the home run. Marcichek with the single. Allie Waleski, who has already homered in this game as well. She's 1 for 2.
The catcher, number 14.
Lots of damage in the Roncalli lineup in 7, 8, and 9. You got 3 of your home runs. All 3 of your home runs have come, 2 from your 7 and 1 from your 9. Again, we talk about production at the bottom of the order, and I don't think anybody expects this, but I'm sure Coach Locke will take it.
High, runner goes, throw to second, does not get there in time. Gregory almost made a nice catch and tag, but the ball goes off her glove, and it's a stolen base for Marcichek.
Yeah, I think if she does come down with it, she has a shot and maybe making a swipe tag, but that's just it. She knows she has to swipe this, and I got to swipe it real quickly, and I think that's just kept her from getting the ball, in the pocket of her glove. So
count should be 1-0. Yep, there we go. Umpire resets it for us. He's done an excellent job behind home plate in not ideal conditions. Strike 1 to Waleski. So RBI count, by the way, Hoffman with 2 driven in. Keller now with 4 driven in because, remember, she had the 3-run blast and then the solo shot. And Waleski has 1 driven in with that solo homer she hit. Comes down and away, 2-1 is the count. And there's that wind picking up, blowing to center. Just keeps having moments where it quiets down, then it picks back up. The 2-1. She doesn't quite get as much on it as she did last time. Diving attempt made by Brunimer, and she holds on for the 3rd out of the top of the 5th. So 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. There was a runner left on for the Roncalli Royals, but they lead Pendleton Heights 7-1. So first game of the season for Roncalli going very well. And for Pendleton Heights, they're 4-0 trying to stay unbeaten, but it's just been a mammoth of a difficulty game for them, having to play really a team that is a 4A state champion, Jim, and didn't really lose any key players. And if anything, they got better because they've added some younger talent like, their second batter in the lineup, Carly Keller, who is making her first varsity start. She's been really good, but good opportunity for learning experience, and also a nice opportunity as well for Eliza Finley. And even though Finley doesn't have any strikeouts in this game, she's worked out of some tough spots.
Yeah, again, I know if you're listening at home and you're looking at the score and it's 7-1, and I've said this now probably for the 4th time, she's not pitching that poorly. She's actually doing okay. It's just a couple timely hits by the Roncalli hitters and a couple of bombs. Again, she makes a mistake, puts the ball in the middle of the plate, and the Roncalli hitters don't miss or haven't missed tonight. So that last play, though, John, I do think the wind affected that as well. Haley Brunimer out there in center field, that ball probably drops in front of her on a normal day, but because the wind was carrying it, it just kind of went an extra 10 or 15 feet, and that's all Brunimer needed to make the diving catch.
So Roncalli's lead extended to 6 at 7-1. Pendleton Heights has their work cut out for them here. Batters 9, 1, and 2 due up. Lillian Koffel, Kaya Hubble, and Haley Brunimer. Koffel grounded right back out to Rothrock in her last at-bat, but that was after an at-bat that had 12 pitches. She fouled off a lot of them. She right as she starts this at-bat the same way, fouling this one off.
And once again, action in the Pendleton bullpen down there again, number 16. I think it was Messer.
Yeah, so it's been Messer and Finley, the 2 pitchers all season for them. 0-1. Hit foul again, 0-2. So if you do see Messer tonight, Messer's record so far 1-0, and she has 8 strikeouts and 2 walks and has given up 5 runs, but ironically enough, none of those runs have been earned.
Yeah, I really think we will. I mean, this is the second time she's been up. There's
Yeah.
no reason to get her up unless you really are going to put her in the game. Earlier, it was a situation where Finley was getting into a little bit of trouble, and you thought about maybe making a change there. But I'd be a little surprised if Coach Davis didn't put her in the ballgame.
Strike 3 looking. I've just completely befuddled Koffel. And that is let's see here, 5th strikeout for Rothrock tonight.
The left fielder.
Yeah, just a really good spot here. You're going to see a great replay here. We don't have a center field camera, we have an outfield camera. But that's exactly where the catcher was setting up. Catcher didn't move the glove. And really an easy call for the umpire. That was a strike.
Now Hubble has fought admirably in her 2 at-bats tonight, but has struck out both times swinging.
She also employs the split grip there. Again, the left hand hitter's on top, is just a little bit of a gap. Using, again, more of a, swinging a paddle, swinging a tennis racket kind of thing as opposed to a bat.
She got jammed. Good hustle by Freegee. Thought she might have a play, but it bounces down foul. Legends Field is where we are tonight. Pendleton Heights Arabians supposed to play in the Horseshoe Classic this weekend, and they would begin against Jennings County and then later possibly play Lake Central. And then who knows where it goes from there. But that is all weather permitting, and Saturday's forecast looks ugly. Outside to make it 2-1.
Yeah, that tournament involves 6 teams, 2 pools of 3, obviously, and you play each team in your pool, and then the winners advance to a championship game, and so that last one you got to earn.
The 2-1. Foul tipped into the glove of Waleski, evening the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3.
Good pitch and good discipline. I mean, that's just good softball right there. Excellent pitch by Rothrock and really good plate discipline by Hubble of staying off of it.
I think if you can get Rothrock on a 3-2 count, you've done something right, because it's not easy to get her there.
I would imagine Keegan wouldn't care if she never saw some of these Pendleton Heights hitters again. They have really done a nice job of battling and extending at bats and really grinding.
3-2. Second walk of the night for Rothrock. And if you're Kaya Hubble, you're saying, finally. You know, I've been working these at-bats so well, and the first 2 ended up being strikeouts. This time she draws a walk, and that puts Haley Brunnemer up. Now, Brunnemer with a single and a fly out to left, making her 1 for 2 on the evening. And Brunnemer became the team leader in hits with that single back in the 3rd. She stays away from the first pitch wisely and makes it 1-0. And, Jim, with your team down 7-1, I would be shocked if Pendleton Heights is not sending Hubble here.
And see, I'm kind of the other way. I think you need big innings. You don't want to run yourself into outs.
And, well, there's that big inning you're looking for. Right as you say that, Brunnemer sends the 2-run blast over the center field wall. My goodness.
Well, and again, I think conventional thinking, that's why you don't send her, because if you just sent her on that first pitch and she got thrown out, that's a 1-run home run, and it's 7-2. You need runners. You need runners, and you need, people on base, and that's, again, a great look, great camera shot from home plate all the way to the right center field, outfield area. Nice job by the guys on the cameras.
Base is clear, and there's only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And the Roncalli lead is now whittled down to 4 after that home run.
I will tell you that as a coach, when you run yourself out of an inning enough, you decide, I'll never do that again. We're going to play it safe. I need runners. We're going to try to get some walks. If you can get hit by a pitch, get on. We just need people on base so that when somebody does connect, it's a 3-run bomb and not a 1-run bomb.
So strike one in to Keely Ryan. Put in play. There it is to Marcicek. And it was a little bit of a low throw, but dug out well by Keller.
Great job by Marcicek here, just fielding the ball and then just getting rid of it. Watch how quickly she gets the ball into a throwing position. The ball barely touches her glove, and she's already got it. Now, again, low throw and a nice job over there by Keller to dig it out, but really nice job over there at the shortstop getting rid of the ball.
Looking at Keegan Rothrock's numbers from last year, she did not give up a home run all season, and she's given up 2 in this game. And that one's a gapper into left center, picked up by Blackwell. Throw into second, though. Great play by Blackwell. She played that well to make sure that single did not become a double from Caroline DeRolf. And DeRolf now is 2 for 3.
For the second baseman, number 9.
Well, DeRolf had ideas of going to second base here. You're going to see as she hits the bag and rounds it. And then if she has the throw in front of her, if she sees the angle of the throw and sees that it takes the cutoff person and the person covering the bag off the base, she probably could have continued on.
Gloria Richardson is coming on to run at first base for the designated player DeRolf. And Bo Shelton up to the plate. Now, again, Bo has had a solid year, batting .364. She came into tonight with 2 home runs, but she is 0 for 2 so far, a strikeout and a ground out. And umpires probably, I think, making a lineup change, or at least making sure that he has Richardson down as the runner at first.
Yeah, they have to actually keep track of that. The home plate umpire on his card, he had a hard time getting it out of his bag.
That one nearly hit Shelton. So Rothrock got Koffel to strike out looking to begin this bottom of the 5th, but then walked Hubble, gave up a 2-run homer to Brunnemer. As that one is slapped foul, 1-1.
Well, there's no doubt, John. Everyone, I think, in the state and around the nation knows that Keegan Rothrock is a pretty good player. But I'll tell you what, these Arabian hitters have gotten her attention today. Just great at bats, up and down the lineup, throughout the lineup, and a couple of bombs. And again, wind aided, I get it, but you still got to hit it.
1-1 had to be stopped in the dirt by Waleski. 2-1. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Pendleton Heights Arabians. Trying to make a comeback here. They have never led in this one. That one foul tipped off, 2-2.
Now, this would be a situation with 2 outs where maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to send the runner. I'm not saying they will, but it wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever seen. Because if she gets thrown out, then at least you come back with Shelton batting again in the next inning. So maybe try to get a runner in scoring position and try to get her in with a base hit.
Deuces wild for Shelton. Got her looking to end the 5th. A strikeout looking to begin the 5th and 1 to end it for Keegan Rothrock. Roncalli leads at 7-3, 6th inning next on 9 Star TV.
At 9 Star Connect, we're a different kind of utility. We're a nonprofit cooperative owned by our members, the friends and neighbors we serve. We work for you. So we're committed to delivering dependable and affordable electricity to over 17,000 homes, schools, and businesses. And we know the best internet service is all about speed and reliability. We deliver both over our high-speed fiber optic network throughout East Central Indiana. At 9 Star Connect, we are a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate! championship game slated for
It is a 7-3 lead for the Roncalli Royals over the Pendleton Heights Arabians on 9-Star TV and the ISC Sports Network, along with Jim Leisure. I'm John Herrick, and thanks to our fantastic crew led by Director John Painter here at Legends Field. Roncalli started off the game with 2 runs in the top of the first. They have led ever since, and Pendleton Heights has been within a run. And Roncalli took the lead by 2 runs, eventually upped it to 6, and then Pendleton Heights got 2 runs back in that bottom of the 5th thanks to a home run by Haley Brennemer. A 2-run blast. The other run that was driven in by Keely Ryan. And Roncalli begins with the top of the order here in the top of the 6th with Lila Blackwell, Carly Keller, and Kate Lehner. Blackwell, 2 for 3 tonight with a run scored. And she is quick, which is probably why she's thinking, let me bunt and get on here. Shows bunt, ends up spraying it into shallow center, diving on Brennemer to make another nice catch. I feel like the wind has kept her busy, hasn't it, Jim?
Well, and again, that ball was up just enough that it just carried, and the wind's still blowing out there. And you're going to see it on the replay here, a little slap hit, kind of half swing, but Haley Brennemer playing a little bit shallow because, again, she's been a slap hitter the whole game in Blackwell. And then the wind hangs that up, and she comes in and makes a nice play.
So Carly Keller tonight, 2 for 3 with a run scored. She grounded out to second in her last at-bat. I noticed, too, and, not that you can pick up a ton from teams in the way they play, run their infield to start it off. But Roncalli worked on a lot of slap hitting, a lot of defending slap hitting, a lot of small ball, and they've executed that pretty well. I think that's something that Coach David Lauk has emphasized over the years as Keller hits it foul to even the count up at a ball and a strike.
Well, and if you know, again, you mentioned earlier that both Coach Lauk and Coach Davis are kind of friends. They've known each other for years, so they know how each guy likes to play the game, philosophically, what they feel you have to do to win games. And so it's a little bit easier to prepare for that.
The 1-1 fouls it right back to the net, and if that net wasn't there, that ball would have probably hit the window in front of us.
I would have been under the desk. I wouldn't have seen it. Learned that lesson years ago. Victory Field, line drive coming right at me, put my hand up, smacked me in the hand, broke my thumb, and the guy next to me got the ball, and I thought, man, I know where they sell baseballs. I could just go buy one.
That was Courtney Keller that you just saw warming up in the bullpen, and strikeout there for Eliza Finley on Carly Keller, and that's a big moment for her. Actually, it's Shelby Messer. So we've talked about Shelby Messer possibly being out there at some point, and she is out there pitching now. So Eliza Finley's night is done. So Finley goes 5 innings complete.
Actually, the first strikeout of the night for Pendleton pitching.
For Pendleton pitching, yeah, it goes to Messer. So 11 hits is what Finley gave up to go with those 7 runs, and all of those were earned. And that one blooped in for a base hit by Kate Lehner. And that goes to the wall. Lehner in for a double.
Well, a great piece of hitting. Again, ball's on the inner half, so you pull it, and she just kind of laid the bat out and just finished the swing and then never hesitated. She watched this swing here nice and level. Just boom. And then she hits first base, and she's not even hesitating. I don't care if the fielder field it, don't field it. I don't care. I'm going.
Hoffman now up, Abby Hoffman. And before they do that, Coach Rob Davis for Pendleton Heights calls for time, brings his whole infield in here. And that allows Hoffman to go over to talk to her coach, David Lauk, and bring Kate Lehner in from second to talk some strategy.
Well, John, just like any game, and with the NCAA tournament just finishing up, you always hear about we need stops. If we're going to get back in this game, we need defensive stops. Well, it's the same here. Pendleton has really got to keep Roncalli off the board here. Even one run could be a difference. If you have any chance at all, you got to get 2 defensive stops if you're Pendleton. The 6th inning and the 7th inning to give yourself any chance at all winning this game.
Hoffman takes high for ball 1. Hoffman tonight 1 for 3, double. But that was an RBI double. Big play in the game that she had back in the first that drove in Blackwell and Keller. The 1-0. Good eye again.
Well, if you're Hoffman, 2-0, good pitch to hit. I imagine Coach Locke's going to go ahead and give her the green light. I hated giving kids a 2-0 take. In fact, I don't remember if I ever did. I used to tell them 2-0 is your pitch. You're looking for your favorite pitch. If you get it, busted. If it ain't your favorite pitch, don't swing.
But 2-0 is a typical fastball count, isn't it?
It can be. It, again, depends on the pitcher. But, yeah, it means the pitcher has to give in a little bit. They're going to have to take something off of it. They really can't afford to throw that little nasty breaking ball on the corner, because if it goes for a ball, you're down 3-0. So they're going to hit a piece of the plate. And when they do, you need to bust it. And if it isn't there, then don't swing.
That might be playable in foul territory, and it was, but I think Libler and Gregory both struggled to get over there and find it, and it bounces down foul.
In my opinion, that's always the shortstop's ball. The shortstop has a better angle. They're coming in toward it. It's really hard for the third baseman to kind of go backward and then try to locate the ball, similar to what happens when a catcher on a pop foul behind the plate. I would have liked to seen the shortstop take charge there, Chloe Gregory, and call that thing and go get it.
Deuce is wild here, top of the sixth. And she lost the bat. Hoffman loses the bat and strikes out. So Shelby Messer in relief comes on and gets 2 strikeouts in the top of the sixth. Does have a runner on, but is able to get out of the jam. So Roncalli, no runs, a hit, no errors. They do leave a runner on, but they maintain their 7-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the sixth, as they are 6 outs away from a victory. As you see Hoffman, she's going, what the heck?
Well, the pitch just absolutely fooled her. It was a nice changeup. They'd given her a couple fastballs. She was expecting gas, and what she got was the marshmallow, and just honestly looked foolish. That's what happens when a pitcher with a good changeup can make good hitters look foolish.
Yeah, that's one thing about Rothrock. She's known so well for her fastball, but her changeup and some of her off-speed pitches are just as nasty.
Yeah, and again, it's a baseball analogy, but it still applies here. Nolan Ryan pitched 7 no-hitters in the big leagues, and he always said that whenever he threw a no-hitter, it was because his curveball was working really well. He always had the fastball, but people could sit, major league hitters can sit on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. But when you add that off-speed breaking pitch, when that's really on, well, he's just unhittable, and that's probably the same thing with Rothrock. She's got the gas. Everyone knows that, but it's when her other pitches work where she's practically unhittable.
So they are opting to keep Rothrock in the game. You might have seen on the bullpen earlier, Rothrock, who has been the starter, could possibly give way to Courtney Keller later. But that's not Rothrock's style. She wants the complete game performance.
It wouldn't surprise me if Coach Locke went in the 7th inning, especially if the score was 7-3, just to get his second pitcher a little bit of work. This is a huge inning for Pendleton Heights. You need runners. All right, you're going to get on any way you can, whether it's a slap bunt or a slap hit. Hey, even if one's inside, you want to lean into it a little bit and get hit by a pitch. But you need base runners if you're going to have any chance here.
Batters 6, 7, and 8 due up for Pendleton Heights. Chloe Gregory, Caitlin Goodwin, and Bryn Libler. Gregory's 1 for 2. Goodwin 0 for 2. Libler 0 for 2. 1-0 to Gregory. Nearly hit her. 2-0.
Well, again, 2-0. Good pitch to hit. Even down 7-3, I let her swing. Favorite pitch, hit it. If it's not your favorite pitch, don't swing.
6 strikeouts for Rothrock. 2 walks tonight. Delivers a strike there.
Just took her head off of it just a little bit. We have perfect positioning right behind the plate here, and when she swung, she was kind of her head moved toward the third baseman.
Easy play for Marsacek. She has been busy at shortstop.
Yeah, I used to teach hitting, and I would tell kids, swing as hard as you can without moving your head. That's the key. It's not about Happy Gilmore where you just get a running start and go up there and just take a big, massive whack at it. You have to swing as hard as you can without moving your head. That's the key.
Yeah, you got to get a running start and then take the hit. You're going to really do it Happy Gilmore style. Caitlin Goodwin takes strike 1. Both of her outs tonight have been ground outs. One she's pulled to second, the other she hit to short. 1-1.
as a coach, you use all kinds of little phrases, little 2 or 3 word phrases, so that you don't have to reteach the point the entire time. But, when a kid's pulling their hat, it's like, hey, you can't hit what you can't see. And that's all you just say. You can't hit what you can't see.
At the middle, base hit for Goodwin. That's good for her confidence.
The third baseman, number 3, Bryn.
Looks like Coach Davis is going to put in a pinch runner here, somebody with a little speed. Now, again, you put a pinch runner in maybe to move a base, maybe to try to steal a base, but also maybe just to make sure you get a run around all the way around if there is something hit to the outfield. So we'll see what they do.
And that would probably mean that somebody is going to be batting for Goodwin if it goes back around to her
Pinch runner,
in the order.
Pendleton Heights.
Or maybe not necessarily. But
Fisher, number 24. Now
he can
first.
choose to do that if he wants, but that's not always the case. Kylie Fisher is on to run for Goodwin. For Roncalli, their next game is actually supposed to be tomorrow night against Ben Davis. And then they'll play Brebeuf on Monday, Columbus North on Wednesday. That's their upcoming schedule after tonight.
And this is technically a pinch runner as opposed to a courtesy run, a little bit of a different thing.
Yep.
This particular case, again, like you said, Coach Davis can re-enter Goodwin. You can take starters out one time, re-enter them once.
The 1-0 just misses to make it 2-0 to Bryn Libler. Now, Libler has made good contact on both of her at-bats. She's just flown out both times, one to center and one to left, and they were close to getting out of here. And with the rate at home runs, the way they've been hit tonight, something to monitor as she hits that one foul down the line. Lehner just couldn't quite get over there in time.
Yeah, with a pitcher like Rothrock and the speed at which he throws, you're going to probably shift your outfield away, expecting hitters to be a little late on the swing and hit it the other way. But, she can't just play over the line. She's over there, but she's not wasn't over there far enough.
2-1. Got the outside corner that time to even it up. Roncalli has never trailed, but Pendleton Heights has also never gone away. Roncalli 5 outs away from victory. Rothrock missed it, but not by much, running the count full.
3-2, 1 out. You could start the runner.
He does, and it's ball 4.
And what you do is, by doing that, you stay out of the double play. Unless the ball's hit right at the bag and there's a defender there who can pick it up and get it over to first quickly. But a little bit of a 1-out rally here for the Arabians.
Yeah, and I wonder if Rothrock's night might be done at some point. I mean, they have warmed up with.
For the Arabians with a pinch hitter. It's number
I got to believe that Coach Lapp's going to leave her in. He's just coaching them up here a little bit. Just, again, reassuring everyone of what's going on here. If he was going to have a potential pitching change, he would have taken that player out of the game. They'd be down in the bullpen warming up. The defensive replacement then would go in. And then, again, what I just said, you could take starters out once and re-enter them. So he's going to leave her in there. Again, it wouldn't surprise me to see him pitch somebody else in the 7th, but right now this is Keegan Rothrock's game.
So Avery Mollenkopf is in to pinch hit for Lillian Koffel. So Mollenkopf this season has only played in 2 of the what is now 5 games. Does not have a batting average, however, does have 2 runs batted in. This means she's played a role to get in runs with walks. Because you can't get an RBI if the bases are loaded and you draw a walk. Pop fly, foul ground. Nice play made over by Freegee at third.
Well, unfortunately for the Arabians, she just caught the back end of that thing. I'm sure we're going to get a great replay because we have all day. But watch how she just literally, the ball's almost past her, and she just reaches out at the last second and what I call catches the back end of it.
What a play that is. My goodness.
Number 12, Elena Smith.
Elena Smith now batting. We're at the top of the order. So another pinch hitter for Pendleton. Smith pinch hitting for Kaya Hubble. She's batting .500 so far, does have 1 hit in 2 at-bats, so not a whole lot to go off of.
But, Hubble has struck out twice, so Coach Davis is probably going to just see if somebody else can get in there and make a little contact. 2 outs, you're going to be moving on contact. Anything hit the outfield, you'll score a run, assuming it's not caught for an out. And, who knows, maybe go first to third here.
Roncalli has batters 5, 6, and 7 due up in the top of the 7th. Strike 1 from Rothrock. Teams have had a whole offseason to learn and watch a lot of film on her. That one in to right. Coming on, Hoffman to make the grab. And that takes care of the 6th inning. Roncalli leading by 4, trying to close it out on 9 Star TV and the ISC Sports Network.
Nine Star Energy customers are on a real-time pricing electric rate plan. The main difference with a real-time pricing rate plan is that when you use electricity is just as important as how much electricity you use. The cost to deliver power is changing. Real-time pricing is broken into 2 pricing periods, on-peak and off-peak. You will benefit from lower electricity pricing during most times of the day when energy demand is lower. And electricity prices will be higher from 4 to 8 p.m. when demand for electricity is generally higher. If you can make small changes, like running the dishwasher or doing laundry during lower priced times of the day, you may be able to benefit from your real-time pricing rate plan. To learn more, visit 9starconnect.com.
Kylie Freege begins the 7th inning for Roncalli, who may be trying to get an insurance run or 2. That's their hope in this inning. I think maybe a couple of lineup looks for Roncalli. The home plate umpire was looking at there.
Freege actually 0 for 3, reached in the 3rd on a fielder's choice and has grounded to the second baseman, or popped up and grounded out to the second baseman.
She is signed on to play at Reinhardt University, which is in NAIA school in suburban Atlanta.
Huh.
So she is 0 for 3 tonight. But, I mean, again, solid contact, and she probably made the defensive play of the night earlier in foul territory.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, obviously, if that ball drops, it's a foul ball. But, again, you give second life to a good hitter.
Right.
Sometimes the next ball ends up knocking the scoreboard down. So I've seen that a lot in my years. You let it give a hitter an extra shot. They always seem to take advantage of it.
2-0. Good eye again by Freege against Shelby Messer, who was on for her 2nd inning of relief of Eliza Finley.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if Coach Lauf gives her the green light here. I think this is a 100% take, but we'll see. Shows what I know. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a philosophy, and you got to know your hitter, and he probably knows Kylie Freege, and it's like, you know what, you're a senior. I trust you to make a good decision. If it's a bustable pitch, bust it. If not, stay off of it. And that one, obviously, she didn't get much of a piece of.
Fastball inside, and that's playable. Down the right field line, Freege trying to go for 2 here. Play at second. She makes it in safely.
Well, again, and she had the play right in front of her. She did a nice kick out, what I call kick out turn, caught just the corner of the bag. Good job. The right fielder does a nice job of getting this ball and not letting it get behind her. Makes a nice throw to a cutoff person who does a good turn. I mean, sometimes the runner's just faster than the ball, and that time she was.
Keegan Rothrock for her 4th at bat tonight. She's 1 for 3. Pop out, ground out, but also a single. Good eye by her to take ball 1. And Freege, the nice lead at second. Led the team, by the way, last year with runs batted in, and also was called on to pitch a couple times. Now, Rothrock, of course, is going to get the bulk of the work, but Freege did pitch in limited action where she was 2-0 with a 4.45 ERA and hit .352.
Keegan Rothrock 1 for 3 on the day with a single. Ideally, she's looking for something on the outer half she can hit to the right side on the ground or a line drive, advance the runner that way at least.
1-1 pitch, sails high.
Messer likes that off-speed pitch there and just got to – on a cold day, it's hard. It's hard to get the feel for it, but the release point, she's just leaving it up too much.
2-1 offering. Just misses again. You know, Rothrock knows what a good pitch looks like. So,
yeah. And 3-1 to me is identical to 2-0. You're looking for your favorite pitch, all right? And again, I used to tell hitters in the average at bat, you're going to see your favorite pitch one time. When you do, bust it, because you don't foul it off, don't look at it, don't swing and miss.
Rothrock makes contact. That's heading into the gap in right center, and Rothrock sends that one out of here for another Roncalli Royal home run. A 2-run shot.
Well, I think she got her favorite pitch, John.
Favorite pitch busted. I think she did that.
Yep. We're not docking the space shuttle, man. Get something you can drive and drive it, especially when the wind's blowing out.
Yeah, Jim. Shows what you know.
That's right. What's the old saying? Those who can play, those who can't coach. Those who can't coach, watch.
Keller.
Well, you've done coach and watch.
I have. Probably about the only thing I'm really good at is eating.
A lot of good places to eat in Pendleton.
There are.
The Pizza King down the road. I shouldn't have said that to you. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, you might want to get them on the phone.
Courtney Keller's up, and she has hit 2 home runs in this game tonight.
He's on his way, and he looks angry. Get some pizza in that oven quick.
4 home runs hit tonight by Roncalli, 2 by Keller, 1 by Waleski, and then that 4th one by Rothrock just moments ago. Good eye by Keller to lay off it, 1-1 the count. Of course, the Roncalli faithful that made the trip, they were chanting Rothrock's name and applauding Keller's decision there to lay off that pitch.
Well, she waited to the last possible second. She wanted to.
And she lifts that one out of play. So the RBI count tonight, 2 driven in by Hoffman, 2 by Rothrock, 4 by Keller, and the other one by Allie Waleski. That was when she hit the solo home run back in the 2nd inning. Roncalli has never trailed. Pendleton Heights has made things interesting at times, but every time they do, Roncalli finds a way to respond. Keller wisely stays away from that one to even the count up.
6-6 over there.
Of course, you know, Rothrock now feeling great. You know she's going to want to find a way to get a complete game victory.
Yeah, and I got to believe that Coach, especially with the score now, 9-3, but Coach Laskin Letter has the Roncalli bullpen is vacant.
Yep, Keller, well, and the only one that had worked up a little bit in the bullpen was Keller, and she's at bat now. Hits a line shot off the glove of Libler. Libler picks it up and tries to throw to first and almost got her. I think that's probably –
I'm going to score it a hit.
Yeah, I think you have to rule that a hit just because it was a line shot. Libler does have an error tonight, but this, she did all she could to keep it in the infield. Yeah, good.
To me, I mean, my barometer is always, would it have taken an exceptional play to make the play?
It would have.
And I think it would have. I think if she makes that play, people are going, oh, my gosh, look at that. That was an incredible play. She wasn't able to do it, but so, I mean, I don't think you penalize the fielder or the hitter for that matter. You know, give the hitter credit for, you know, knocking the cover off of it.
Tori Candler is coming on to pinch run for Keller at first base. She is a senior. Speaking of that Roncalli roster, 5 seniors. Now, Keller plays a lot. Candler plays limited action. Freegee is a senior. Waleski graduates, but a lot of Roncalli players coming back next year as that one hit high by Lauren Marcichek and right into Shelby Messer's arms for the first out of the inning. Candler wisely goes back to first, and that puts us at 1 down.
Yeah, you know, probably a pretty good idea, just poor execution. I mean, obviously, again, you don't normally try to bunt balls that are kind of up in your eyeballs. That's probably one where you pull the bat back and just take the ball. But She went ahead and put the bat on it. It did not end well for her.
Waleski steps in and takes a called strike.
And obviously we know Waleski can be dangerous. She had the big bomb in the second inning.
And even on the other 2 outs that she had, she made good contact. Drove one into center in the 5th. It was caught by Brunnemer, but it was near the wall. The 0-1. Blocked well by Ryan. Fakes the throw to first.
I like the pitch, though. Good location, good pitch selection, and again, working behind the plate.
Pendleton's last hope in the 7th will be their 2-3-4 batters of Haley Brunnemer, Keely Ryan, and Caroline DeRolf. That one is in foul territory. Chasing after it. She couldn't quite get there. Lillian Koffel made a great effort, but no avail. Makes it 1-2.
Yeah, really good effort out there in right field. She just had to come a long way for it and kind of get over there toward that bullpen a little bit too. That'll get your attention if you're an outfielder.
So if you're just joining us, this game was kind of slapped together last minute. Really, both teams found out that they were playing this game probably early this morning. Roncalli's first game of the season. Pendleton had played 4 games so far. Bouncer up the middle. Waleski's second hit of the night. 4th hit in this inning for Roncalli. They have 16 hits for the game.
Well, again, we talked a little bit about it, John. I mean, these Roncalli hitters have just shown up like they have been just chomping at the bit to get out of the gate. And get out of the gate they did today with their, according to the scoreboard, 18th hit. So,
yeah. Lila Blackwell is up, and she is 2 for 4 tonight with a run scored.
Coach Lauk going to get a pinch runner, I think, or maybe a pinch hitter. I think they only got like 4 subs, man. I mean, pick somebody. There aren't too many people.
And he's bringing in Georgia Reed again. So he's brought Georgia Reed on to run before, and Reed is a courtesy runner for Waleski.
Again, the difference because of either the pitcher or the catcher, and Waleski is the catcher. So
and we're back to the top of the Roncalli order, which is it's kind of interesting. The whole Roncalli order has been tough tonight, but especially the very top and the very bottom of it. That's where they've been most lethal in this one. Lays down a bunt try. Caught, though, by Ryan. Throw to second, or she faked it. She faked it like she was going to throw after she made a diving play to make the second out.
Again, this is a highlight thing here. What great camera work. We're going to get such a great angle of this. Tries a little slap bunt. Again, not very effective. What an effort.
I mean, again, you have to come out from behind the plate. You've got the mask over your face. It's not as easy to see. That's why you see on foul ground plays, the catcher will often take the mask off. This one blooped into left. That one a diving attempt. Can't get made by Hubble. Rounding third, and there the play at third is safe. So we've got Candler that comes around and scores. And then Waleski's courtesy runner, Georgia Reed, ends up safe at third. And Keller gets the base hit out of it. And that brings Kate Lehner up. Makes it 10-3, Roncalli. Another conversation in the circle.
Well, an excellent opportunity for both coaches, really, just to coach their kids and let them know the situations, be aware of things. That's a situation where it's probably, and that's an official score, that would be a difficult one, whether it's a single or double. And you could argue that she took second on the throw into third, that maybe she would not have tried to go to second. But on the other hand, that was such a bloop hit in such a perfect spot, she may have hit the bag and tried it anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It ends in a run for Roncalli, but a base hit nonetheless.
Kate Lehner 1 for 4 tonight, a double. And Carly Keller is able to get her first RBI.
And then 2 outs now. Again, runners are going to run on contact. The only thing that might keep the runner at second base from going to third if the ball was hit right at the third baseman. Or if there was just a little dribbler in front of the plate, the runner on third would not try to advance. Other than that, they're moving.
Right over to second. Shelton makes the routine play. Inning over. 8 of the 9 Roncalli batters came up there in the top of the 7th. They end up getting 3 runs there on 5 hits. No errors. Roncalli does leave 2 runners aboard, but they lead 10-3. Roncalli's left 8 runners on in total. There's the last out of the inning. But now if you're Pendleton Heights, you got to have a lot of heroics here, and it has to begin with your team leader in hits and Haley Brunimer, who's homered tonight, also has driven in 2 runs and scored. And then after that, it's Keely Ryan, who's also homered and scored. Caroline DeRolf, she's after that, and she's 2 for 3. So it's not like it's totally out of the cards here for Pendleton. They've got opportunities.
Yeah, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen with your 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 hitters. And then you're just going to have to get a little bit lucky here. You need 7. And then if you can get 2, 3, 4, and 5 through and maybe get 1 or 2 of those in, then Coach Davis can employ a little bit of strategy. But for the most part, it's about getting on, getting over, and getting in. I think if I'm coaching these girls, I'm just going to say, hey, listen, this is an opportunity to bat against a really good pitcher. We're probably not going to see anybody quite this good in our conference. There's good pitchers. I know Mount Vernon's got a couple of really good ones. But this is an opportunity. I mean, we can't duplicate this in practice. So get up there and make the at-bats worth it.
In order to score 7 runs, you got to do it against number 7, the state and national player of the year last year in Keegan Rothrock. But it's interesting enough, too, because Rothrock has had a game that is, again, she doesn't normally give up walks and she doesn't normally give up home runs, but she's had 3 walks tonight and 2 home runs, so you've got to feel pretty good about that if you're Pendleton, something to build around. Also some changes here defensively, it looks like. Well, no, I think the David Lauk was just talking to the umpire about maybe possible lineup changes about what might happen in case he needs to do that.
Either that or just re-entering those players that he pinch ran for.
That's right, yep. That's probably what he was
saying,
doing.
Hey, 22 re-enters, 21 re-enters, that kind of thing. I like the first cut by Brunimer, though. She's not she wasn't giving up anything, man. She wasn't conceding nothing.
Again, she came into tonight hitting .545. And she's had a night that helps that average. 2 for 3.
I like the way she's choking up. Shorten it up a little bit. Again, you give up a little power by choking up, but, the velocity that Rothrock provides and the wind, I mean, it's a push, man. Choke up, shorten up, hit something hard.
2-1 offering. Foul that offer foot, ouch. Oof. Every time I see that, that's never fun.
No, normally a lot of times the home plate umpire will go out and dust off the plate and give her a second. You're going to get a great shot of it there. Boy, right off the top of her ankle.
Hey, we're up by 1, 7-6. Are we? Yep. And it looks like we have someone on second base.
So 2-2 the count here. Big pitch. Don't be surprised if Rothrock gives her a little something to think about. Change up or that little backdoor slider that she's got.
6 strikeouts for Keegan, and Brunimer might have another home run, and she does. A solo blast over the left field wall.
Young lady, and touch 'em all.
Her second home run of the night.
Well, as bad as her ankle felt about 10 seconds ago, I guarantee you she doesn't feel it now.
No.
She ran around them bases like she was on fire. Nice job. Great at bat. Nice job. And you love to see that out of the senior, and there's the replay, and that ball was just crushed. And
this is a hitter's place, isn't it?
It really is.
It really, man.
I don't know the dimensions. It's been my experience that if you look over on the baseball field, John, you see clear dimensions on the fence. You see it's 350 in the power alleys. And when you're in a ballpark and there's no marking anywhere, not down the lines, not in center, it's normally because it's short. And, boy, there's a lot of home runs that come out of this place, and I got to believe it might be just a little bit shorter than some of the other ballparks.
Makes it 10-4. Ryan is up and takes ball 1. Keely Ryan had a homer back in the first. So if you're keeping track at home, 3 home runs tonight for Pendleton Heights. Also, 4 home runs for Roncalli. So we have had a grand total of 7 home runs in this contest. Put in play, but right to Frigie. Frigie's throw off the glove of Keller. So that was a routine play.
Absolutely. That's an E5 on the throw there.
Yep. The throw was not a great one from Frigie, and she knows it.
Designated player
So
number 8,
Caroline DeRolf. So things have gotten interesting here. 1 run already in, another runner aboard, still nobody out. And Caroline DeRolf with 2 singles in this game already. Let's see if he decides to maybe put in a courtesy runner for Ryan. That's, I think, what he's deciding to do here, Coach Rob Davis for Pendleton Heights. And he elects to put in Sydney Clark.
Ryan is number 11. Sydney Clark.
And you did talk, John, a minute ago about some of the defensive replacements. There is a defensive replacement for Roncalli at first base. Is Anne-Marie Meek, the junior, and she's the one that almost dug that bad throw out of the dirt there from Frigie. And again, Frigie just kind of short-armed it a little bit. It rushed it, didn't need to. She had plenty of time, but she rushed the throw, and Meek was unable to dig it out of the dirt.
Now, there's only been 2 stolen bases this year for Pendleton Heights so far, and that one's ripped down the line by DeRolf.
And we got an obstruction here. So the runner ran into the first baseman as she rounded. So basically what that meant is it's a delayed dead ball by the umpire. And if there had been a play at second base where she had gotten tagged out, he would have called her safe. You're going to see it, I think, right here. Nice job of driving the ball down the line.
DeRolf with the double. So this has been a heck of a display here by Pendleton Heights to try to get back in this game. DeRolf with her 3rd double of the season, by the way. Strike 1 to Bo Shelton. Now, Shelton has been unsuccessful tonight, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But again,
I got to think she's due. I really do.
Pendleton has hit the ball well tonight. That one's blooped over to first base, caught on the run by the new first baseman that you just mentioned, Jim, earlier. That is Anne-Marie Meek. She comes over, and Courtney Keller's night might be done. I think that's also Coach David Lauk might be thinking if we need to put in Keller at pitching because she has been in the bullpen.
Right.
Nice play there by Meek.
And I think if the score was a little bit closer, she'd probably be down there warming up. But I think he's going to let Rothrock finish this.
Chloe Gregory bounces this up the middle, and that is picked up by Blackwell. That scores 1, so it is 10-5. Gregory 2 for 4. Give her an RBI. Scoring Ryan's courtesy runner.
Well, and Coach Davis very wisely, I think, decides to hold up the runner here. Runner got a little bit of a late start, had to make sure the ball got down before they could advance so it wouldn't get doubled up, and because of that, not wanting to take any unnecessary chances. If you got any shot at all, you need base runners.
So Rothrock is coming out of the game. Keegan Rothrock's night is done, and where is she going to go? She might have to go somewhere else on the infield.
Coach Lauk only brought 5 subs, and he's used some players, so yeah.
Okay, Anne-Marie Meek is coming out, which means Rothrock is going over to first, and it is Keller on to try to finish this one out. Now keep in mind, 6 more runs here by Pendleton Heights, and that gives them the victory.
Change for the Royals, replacing Rothrock, the first baseman, number 1, Courtney Keller.
Are you surprised, Jim, at how well Pendleton Heights has hit the ball against Rothrock?
I mean, a little bit, just because she is who she is, but this is not a bad Pendleton team. I mean, They can play, and so yes and no. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're Coach Davis, even if this does not end your way, you got to at least go away from this thinking, we just took the number 1 team in the state, and like you said, possibly the nation, depending on how it goes with Max Preps and all those other services, and we gave them all they wanted. I guarantee you David Lauk's not going to go home and go, let's get these guys back on the schedule next week. He's done. He don't want to come up here no more.
So Rothrock's numbers, she goes 6 1/3, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned. She had 3 walks and 6 strikeouts, and Courtney Keller tries to finish this one out. There is still just one out in this inning. So Brennemer started off with a home run. Then Ryan reached on the error. DeRolf doubles. And then after that, RBI single by Chloe Gregory. And there's runners on first and third with just one out against Caitlin Goodwin. Goodwin tonight 1-for-3 with a single and 2 ground outs, and she moves ahead in the count 1-0 against Courtney Keller.
That single came in her last at bat, so you could argue that she's kind of getting into a little bit of a groove.
2-0 the count. Again, and how much pitching experience does Keller have over the last couple of seasons? Not a lot.
2-0. Get your favorite pitch and bust it. If it ain't there, don't swing. That's all right. I mean, again,
Keller just wanted to come up with something.
Yeah, and you know what? That was not going to be a pitch that you could drive. It was on the up and outer part of the zone. If you hit it at all hard, you're going to take it to left field, but she didn't like the pitch, so don't swing at it.
2-1. Missing for ball 3. So Keller last season pitching was 1-0. She appeared in 6 games, only made 1 start, got 1 save. And she also gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, 1 of which was earned, and she gives up a base hit here. It's bobbled in right field by Hoffman. It is 10-6, Roncalli. Runners are on first and second. RBI single for Goodwin.
Now batting.
DeRolf comes around to score.
Little thing here, John, but again, the runner had to go back to first because she was afraid that it might be caught by the second baseman. So that bobble by Hoffman in right field was what enabled her to get to second. She was actually heading back to first. And so that little bobble could prove to be big.
Bryn Libler is up. She's 0-for-2, and she walked in her last at bat. Boy, this has turned into a rally possibly for Pendleton Heights. Pinch runner at first, Kylie Fisher. Fisher's done a lot of running at first tonight. She's done pinch running and courtesy running. There's a lot of softball left and just 1 out. We've seen almost the entire Pendleton Heights batting order. Rothrock was done after 6 1/3. Ball 1.
This is where you want to be really smart on the base paths, too, if you're Pendleton. Don't need to take any chances. If the ball gets away from the catcher just a little bit, may not be enough to advance. I'd rather you just stay where you're at. Now, if it gets to the screen, I get it.
The 1-0. Sent over to first, but foul. Yep. So Rothrock moved to first. Keller comes on to pitch. Anne-Marie Meek was at first base for a little bit. She comes out of the game. Those were the defensive substitutions earlier. The 1-1 by Keller, just missing. 2-1. So again, other numbers from Keller from what we know. She did have 14 strikeouts and some limited action last year to 3 walks. The 2-1. Upstairs for ball 3. A walk here loads the bases and would bring the tying run up to the plate.
And it looks as though on deck is Lillian Koffel, who will re-enter.
That one sent high. In the air to left center. Caught by Lehner. She throws it back into the relay for Lauren Masachek. Okay, now there's 2 down. Still, though, Lillian Koffel is up. She's 0-for-2.
Just a little bit of a loop in that swing, John, again, where the bat head kind of dropped back toward the umpire. And that's really what kept that ball from being driven out of the ballpark. If she'd have brought the head of the bat to the ball quicker and sooner, that ball may have left.
So Coach Rob Davis coming out here again.
Shut off, please, in the parking lot. Headlights off, please, on the first base side.
Someone had their headlights on.
Yeah, it's probably going to Pizza King. He's going to beat me over there.
Didn't think they'd get free advertising tonight, did they? Koffel hits it back foul. 0-1. So can Roncalli hold on from this rally, or does Pendleton Heights have one more crack at it here?
Hey, if she gets on, man, we're looking at 1, 2, 3. I mean, I don't know if you could be in a better spot if you're Pendleton.
The 0-1 from Keller. Yeah, that was – I'm surprised he didn't rule that a strike. That looked close. But
Well,
it's 1-1.
If it missed at all, it missed up. It was a changeup.
Keller's 1-1. Put in play, bounces in. It's scooped up, tagging second. Got her! And that ends the game. Carly Keller helping out her sister Courtney in a big way, picking up the ball, tagging second base, and ending what was a fantastic rally by Pendleton Heights.
They played 3 on 5 hits.
Well, again, you're going to see this ball's right. It's like a snow cone out of her glove hanging out there.
Wow.
And she got there. I mean, the foot was on the bag. My question was, where's the ball? You can still see it.
Yeah.
The ball's just barely hanging out. I'll tell you what, John, a really, really good high school softball game. Nothing to be ashamed of, and both teams got better today. Both teams honestly got a little bit of getting better to do. You're going to see the replay here one more time. Well, I thought we were. But, yeah, she was out. I mean, the foot was on the bag. My question was, where was the ball? The ball was in her glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you're going to see a great angle of it.
Keller just able to pick it up.
What a play.
Just got the toe on the bag. So Pendleton Heights comes into this game undefeated, playing the #1 team in the state and probably the #1 team in the nation, who has the state and reigning National Player of the Year on it. And they are able to knock her out of the game. She didn't finish. She goes 6 1/3 and comes up having to leave the game in the 7th. And Courtney Keller able to close it out for Roncalli. But, boy, it was an adventure. Pendleton Heights down by 7, able to cut it to 4. Was very close to having the tying run at the plate. But Roncalli holds on, wins it 10-6 to get their first win of the season, and Pendleton Heights drops to 4-1. Hopefully, weather permitting, we are back here with 9-Star TV to bring you the Horseshoe Classic on Saturday. Lots of great softball hopefully will come your way. If not, well, Mother Nature will win. But we hope we're here on Saturday, and if we're not, it's obviously always a pleasure to be here at Pendleton Heights. Huge thanks to John Painter, Bill McKenna, the rest of our crew. For my partner, Jim Leisure, I'm John Herrick saying so long from Legends Field. You've been watching high school softball on 9-Star TV.